I'm going to take us to the Big 12, and I'm going to go, I think, shake hands with a fan base that maybe hasn't loved us all that much first couple years of the podcast. We are going to West Virginia to sing country roads. The first 2 years of this podcast, we were very anti-Mountaineers, right? I mean, we were big on the block that Neil Brown was going to get fired last year,
Yeah.
and until Trey planted his flag in the ground and said, "Get ready, weird stuff is going to happen." I think we were all just resigned to the fact that West Virginia was going to be terrible, right? I mean, in that wasn't just our opinion. The media picked West Virginia to finish dead last in the Big
Yeah.
12, and then lo and behold, they go off and have an incredibly successful year. Currently, the over under for West Virginia is 6.5. Going over is minus money, a little minus 135. And that's the way that I'm going to advise you to lean if you're into picking college football totals. West Virginia
Gotta
has
throw that up there.
Garrett Green back at quarterback, which very strangely has been crowned Prince of College Football by PFF. They rated him the top returning quarterback in all of college football in February, which he's good, don't get me wrong, but also only completed 52% of his passes last year, and is not a
All,
polished QB1 to say the
all of
least. Like
college football?
all of college football, they planted their flag
They
early and
know
said, "This
Jalen
guy."
Milrose coming back, right? Like
It's
he was
very
just in the Rose Bowl. I mean, he's
listen.
not even the best. I don't know, but like, yeah, I don't know. Come on, man.
PFF has a lot of strange takes. That one
Yeah.
is up there, and that's not, I don't even think that's sliding Garrett Green. Like, just
No,
he's
it's
objectively not the best quarterback in college football. I
right.
don't think that's a hater
He's
take to
good.
say that. But he is a true dual threat. He's developed well. He's developed into a winner. And gosh, man, in the age of NIL, when everyone is going to the next school for the next bag and chasing that next payday, to have a kid that legitimately loves playing for his school and he's going to go grind it out, like that's so refreshing. So,
Mhm.
Garrett Green has won me over. I'd consider myself a fan. They have an electric running back room. Jaheim White really broke out a season ago when they thought it was going to be CJ Donaldson. He couldn't stay healthy. Jaheim White said, "All right, I'll take carries," and had himself a nice little year. They get Jaden Bray to transfer in from Oklahoma State at the wide receiver position, and then their defense looks like it's going to be solid. They lost a bunch of transfers in the secondary a year ago. They were better than what we expected them to be. This year, the linebacker room is expected to be one of the strengths of that team. And oh, by the way, they get uh, Josiah Trotter back. He missed all of last year, was supposed to be their star linebacker. Missed last year with a leg injury that he suffered in the preseason. He's back. I think West Virginia also has a very workable schedule. Now, they open in the backyard brawl with Penn State. Take your pick there, coin flip. That is in Morgantown. So a big win for West Virginia getting that game at home. Uh, and I'm sorry, that's not the backyard brawl. That's West Virginia in Pitt. Blanking on the rivalry game that they
All
play
good.
against Penn State.
I didn't
Look,
catch it either, man. I was
look that up for me. They play Albany, then they play against Pitt in week 3. And then they start Big 12 play against Kansas. Now, if they can go 2-2 in that stretch, I think they're off to a great start. Then they're at Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Kansas State, at Arizona. We don't know what Arizona is going to be. We don't really know what Oklahoma State or Iowa State are going to be as well. So if you're telling me the total that you got to get to is just 6.5, you got to clear 7 wins. Again, I think you can find 2 wins in that stretch. So you're 4-4 at worst. Not a sexy start. But to get me to that over, then all I have to do is win 3 of at Cincinnati, Baylor, UCF, and at Texas Tech. Um, UCF, we'll see what they're like, right? KJ Jefferson taking over at quarterback. I don't think Cincinnati is going to be all that special. And so going to Nippert Stadium out of a bye, I don't think it's all that hard. I think West Virginia can go get that win. Baylor comes to them. That's a home game. And then they go to play Texas Tech. I think you can find 3 more wins on that schedule. If it's not in the final 4 games, maybe you knock off Kansas State at home, right? Missouri did that to Kansas State last year. So I think the schedule is workable. Is it a 9-10 win season? No. Probably not. But with what West Virginia has coming back, I like them to find their way to 7 or 8 wins this season.
Yeah, there's only really 3 games I think they're, like, destined to lose, maybe 4 that I think I could convince myself into. Yeah, Penn State, I think, is for sure a loss. I don't think they're beating Kansas, and I don't think they're not gonna beat Oklahoma State on the road either. It's, give me the Ollie Gordon show over everything this year, probably. I mean, look, Ollie Gordon's gonna have a fun season. Tease up, baby, let's go. But I mean, look, you're probably right. I mean, there's a lot of games in there that maybe they're toss ups, maybe they're kind of sort of wins, but I think they can find their way through. And really, my mindset with West Virginia this year, and this is going to be a lot of the teams in the Big 12 until we see what they're really working with, is just why not us, right? You can
Sure.
make that case for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 teams in the Big 12. We go, yeah, why not them, right? They relatively easier schedule in the Big 12 this year. They're missing a couple of good teams. And, I think that you can say, Oklahoma State, Kansas, Penn State aside, the rest of those games they should have a chance to win, if not maybe be favored to win those. I like that. So yeah, I don't think this is too bad. And maybe we have to retire the Neil Brown syndrome, and we have to retire the West Virginia, at least their football team's prospects hatred. We don't hate West Virginia by any means. Even when we picked them to lose, we like West Virginia. We like the vibes out there in Morgantown. We just didn't think your football team was very good for a little bit, and he sure proved us wrong last season. So we'll see what happens. I'm still a little bit hung up on Garrett Green being the best returning quarterback. I'm like, Quinn Ewers,
Terrible
Jalen
take.
Daniels, like these guys not Matt. These guys exist. Dylan Gabriel's out there too. I mean, he played college football last season. I don't know. Cam
Truly,
Rising, I know he's not technically returning, but he's returning from previous seasons. So I don't know. I'm just spitballing quarterbacks here, and I'm thinking, I don't know that Garrett Green's better than a lot of
Ewers,
these guys.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, truly a terrible take
Yeah.
from PFF. Now, so I
Jackson
looked it up.
Dart. I mean,
The backyard brawl is obviously West Virginia and Pitt, so that's week
yeah.
3. Hand up on that. But what I didn't realize was that Penn State West Virginia is just called the Penn State West Virginia football rivalry. And you go to their wiki page. Until last year, they hadn't played since 1992. Penn State currently owns a 5-game winning streak, and they lead the all-time series against the Mountaineers 49-9-2. So
Uh,
the
mm,
the Nears haven't gotten a lot of wins against the Nittany Lions.
uh,
We'll break that down. That's going to be one of the top week 1 games that we get to preview. I think it could be a lot closer maybe than you'd think automatically on paper. Last year, a 38-15 result in favor of the Nittany Lions. We'll see what Penn State's offense can do. But anyway, the point is
yeah.
7 to 8 wins. I think is on that schedule. It's getting my stamp of approval. I'm taking West Virginia and the over this season as one of my best bets.
And they can definitely get there, and it's not completely out of the question that would be the case. I think they can get there. Also, DeQuan Finn, Preston Stone. I'm just trying to think of quarterbacks I'd rather have than Garrett Green right now. I'm not trying to trash on Garrett Green in the West Virginia segment. I think they're going to have a good season, but I'm not going to get over that. I'm going to be thinking of quarterbacks for the next 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, yeah, he's probably better too. And I'm
Hard to
sure that
take
I'm
a
missing.
guy. No, he only turned the ball over 4 times through the air last year, but
Sure,
29 total touchdowns.
he only completed 53% of
52.
his passes.
Yeah, literally half of your passes. That's a bridge too
And
far.
and I
But
think
anyway,
he's good and talented, and he could certainly surge this season. Like, I'm not taking anything away from him, but that's a pretty crazy, preseason take that I'm not ready to get behind it. Will Howard, that's another one I take. Will Rogers, maybe even. I don't know. We'll see.
Will Rogers is stinky.
I'm still waiting to see if he's a system guy or if he's a just needed to get out of Mississippi State guy. I'm curious to see.
He's Captain Checkdown, is what he is.
Gracious him! How about that?